There are more than 218 million Americans that are eligible to vote, yet only 67% of those eligible are registered to vote, and just 57% voted in the last presidential election. Organizations like the National Congress of Black Women, also known as the NCBW, have noticed the decline in recent years and have seen the effects of poor voter turnout, especially among minorities. The NCBW focus their efforts on informing the youth about the importance of voting. On November 1st, just 1 week away from the November 8th presidential election, the NCBW Oakland County, Michigan chapter held a mock election for participating middle schools, including 2 in Southfield, 1 in Oak Park, and 1 in Pontiac, with approximately 2,700 students taking part in the mock elections.
What we're doing is working with middle school age students doing a presidential mock election. We do a mock election every 2 years, gubernatorial and presidential, and it's a way to engage the students in their right to vote and what the process is all about.
The opportunity for this hands-on experience in the voting process proved to be a success among the students. They were able to see how their class research and discussions about politics and government help them make informed and educated decisions.
In school right now, they're learning so much about government and how laws work in civics. This makes them have that real world connection so that they can really be engaged in the process. And I hope that this is just a stepping stone so that when they're in high school, they'll just keep wanting to be civically involved.
The mock elections were ran the same way a normal election is done. There is a certain system and format to follow, and the students were given a chance to experience what adult voters have to do in order to vote.
We have an alphabetical listing of each class that's coming in. We check their name off, we ask them for their identification, and if they don't have ID, we have them sign a notebook, and then they proceed to vote. At the end of the voting process, they receive an I voted today sticker, and they receive a Know Your Michigan Voter Rights.
The students voted digitally on laptops which contained the full ballot in relation to their polling or school location. They were able to vote for positions for the president, judges, Congress, and even proposals. In the hopes of helping parents learn about their rights as voters, each child received a Know Your Michigan Voting Rights handout. Not many voters are aware of their rights, which may cause confusion and frustration at the polls. So before you head out to vote, know your Michigan voting rights. Verify if you are registered to vote and your polling location by going to the website www.michigan.gov/vote or by calling the local clerk's office in the community where you live. You have the right to vote even if you do not have identification with you. You will be asked to complete the backside of the application to vote. If you are in the wrong polling location, you still can vote. You will have the choice of going to the correct polling location or completing a provisional ballot. This ballot is subject to verification and is not immediately counted. Written notification from your local clerk's office will be provided as to whether your ballot was counted. If you are incarcerated in jail but have not been charged with an offense, you have the right to vote. If you have been charged with an offense, found guilty, and served your sentence and are no longer incarcerated, you have the right to vote. If you are in line at 8 p.m. when the polls close, you still have the right to vote. Polling locations are open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. If you are the victim of voter intimidation by anyone regarding your right to vote, call 1-866-OUR-VOTE. With the millennial population steadily increasing, it is important for voting education to start at a young age. Knowing voting rights, how the voting process works, and how to research candidates are just a few of the important factors that children need to understand before they turn 18.
Voting is extremely important. Our millennials need to understand that people actually died trying to exercise their right to vote, and voting will enhance their quality of life. And it's not just enough to vote, but be an informed voter, which is what we're doing here. We're allowing the students to have an opportunity to actually exercise their right to vote and researching the candidates and having an actual ballot that their parents will have, so they can go home and advise their parents as to who they voted for and start the discussion at home with their parents.
Discussing with your children the process of voting and the reason for voting is extremely important. The NCBW hopes to engage people of all ages with their events like the mock elections and encourage children to ask questions and to explore their government and how it works.
It is our voice. You know, you can't complain about things if you're not going to vote to make a difference. So it's important for us to let children know at a young age that they do have a voice, that we can all make a difference in our society. And the wonderful thing about mock elections is that it doesn't just focus on the presidential race. They also get to be informed about what's happening locally, on a local level here in their community as well.